Really honored to have our guest on today. Miss this young lady here started in October of 2017. She actually had her first recruit before she was licensed, like another person we know very well on this call. She became a key leader in July of 18, so just a little over 8 months there. She was able to, we say it a lot, you hear it a lot, that if you want to build a profitable business, you cannot miss a promotion. You got to be, your goals need to be not your next promotion, but the one after that. So if kind of the whole thing, shoot for stars, you'll fall on the moon, right? So always making sure that you are going for the promotion afters. And Penny definitely did that. She was able to hit every promotion, didn't miss promotion until until we get ready for the agency owner run, and that's when there's a little bit more than just numbers involved. And she became an agency owner in May of 2019. So just a little over a year and a half on that. In 2019, her team did 774,000, a little over in production. And so that was 2019. 2020 has been just a crazy year for all of us, especially with COVID. But I want you guys to hear these numbers as well. In March, her team did $38,613. In April, they did $51,304. And then in May, they did $65,490. That is a 60% increase from March when this COVID first started happening. So the title of today's call is Sales is for Today, Building is Forever. And so I wanted to bring on Penny and just kind of pick her brain a little bit, a little outside resource on kind of her thoughts around building and why she's building and why you should build and so forth and so on. So Penny, I'm gonna unmute you there if you can do that. I appreciate you joining us. If you don't mind, just to start off, first of all, awesome job on these numbers, but just for those of us that don't know you, just start out by who you are, who you direct to, where you're from, and all that good stuff.
Fantastic. Well, I'm Penny Balckmon. I'm direct to Grace Webb in the Jacob Polk hierarchy. So that's kind of my upline there. And first, I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me on as a guest speaker today. That's always such an honor to be asked for that. And I have such great respect for your leadership, Jeremiah, Chris, John Paul. I just you cannot be with better people. And one of the things I love about being on the other team calls is seeing names that I recognize. So Stella, I know your name, so that's pretty awesome, and it's just really cool to be here. So I live here. I'm actually a couple of hours south of Jeremiah, so every once in a while we get to see each other, which is really nice. I live here in Alabama. I grew up out west. I have 6 kids, 8 grandkids with a 9th on the way, and I'm ready for COVID to be done so I can start hugging on some grandbabies. So, yeah.
Well, Penny, tell us what were you doing, prior to the cemetery? What's your kind of background?
My background, yeah. So I was interested way long ago. I was a homemaker for 12 years, divorced when I had 6 kids, and I had never been in the workforce. So I definitely had some digging in to do. So I just kind of kept building, and I just have a natural leadership style. So I just kept getting put into leadership things as I went along. I ended up finding my way to sales as a car salesman. At one point, I didn't even know the difference between a Toyota and an Audi. I had to walk around the back of the car just to read the name on the back of the car so I know what I was selling. But I did know people, so that helped. I just kind of smiled my way through it, I guess. And then I ended up in management with a corporation with Office Depot, did that for a while, and then came home to help my husband with his business. He teaches women's self-protection courses, did that for a couple of years. He started changing his format to an online format, which changed my focus in the business. And so then I told him, on Monday, I'm going to call it. I'll find a job this week, and just started looking at sales positions, found Grace's ad, called it. The message said, hey, by the way, we're in the middle of a hurricane, but leave your message. I will give you a call back. And I just like, hey, take care of yourself. Don't worry about it. And I went on to find other job positions because I was going to find a job that week. And sure enough, she drove 3 hours just so she could get phone service to call those people back. So it just says a whole lot to her commitment, because I'm a huge part of her team. And had she not called me back, I would have been in some type of W-2 position. And I'm so grateful for her work ethic. So I like to say I came in with a hurricane, and I got to keep up the reputation. So
That's awesome. Well, I've gotten to know you a little bit, Penny, and really just your heart for people just comes out, immediately. I can remember us being in DC and preparing for a conference, and you're walking down the street to get all these, snacks and supplies to give your team some goodie bags, and things, just to show that, you care, and you're glad that they made the sacrifice to get there and everything. So, but what was it about Symmetry? Everybody comes here for different reasons and from different places. What was it that attracted you originally from Symmetry, and then kind of, I guess, back us into what kind of
made me stay.
Yeah,
Right.
what made you, stay?
Sure. Well, originally I was looking for a sales position, and she had actually put in average sales was $450 to $500 per sale. And I'm like, well, I could do that, and even though it was full commission, I had done that before. So I originally came in because I was looking for a money solve in my household. But then 3 weeks into it, I went to my first post-conference splits in Atlanta. And I remember Brian Delaney up there talking, and he started talking about the time lost that he had for his family with all the corporate positions that he had. He had no time for his family, and just how that impacted his family. And when I divorced my husband, I was a single mom of 6 kids and the only income earner. I was not getting any child support at the time. So to survive that and to get through that, I had to have 3 different jobs when they were little. And so I really resonated with just that time lost with family, and recognizing that even though my kids are now to a place where they're grown, I get to show up differently for them now because of the time balance that I have here. So I know I could be farther along in my process, than I am right now. I'm very proud of where I am, and I'm very proud of the way I've gotten to where I am now. But there have been a few times that, we had a family where all of my kids, all the grandkids came together. That was just a phenomenal event. I took time for that. My mom is 87. When I hit AO, I took 3 weeks with her, and so there's been a few times I have delved into being able to enjoy that process with my family. I do have to recognize every time I do that, and I don't do it often, but when I do it fully. But when I do, I have to know that any momentum I had coming up to that point is usually not there when I come back out of it. So I just have to realize I got to get those wheels turning again, and do the Flintstones to my feet down and start running again until we can get the momentum and get it running. So but that's what made me stay, was the recognition that I could have a more of an impact with my family than I did just working 3 jobs at one time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going through that right now, having a new baby, at home, and things. And that's just this would be the 2nd child we've adopted since I came to Symmetry. And in both times, I'm able to do what I want to do, to be able to still support the family, but take more time than what I could normally do in in a corporate job. And even if you've got time off, that feeling that your boss and all them, I mean, is thinking
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah.
so that's great. Well, Penny, I know that you're an incredible producer, and you're still producing. You're still in the field, or you're in the virtual field
Yep.
now. I mean, is
Yep.
that's right? Yeah.
Yeah. In fact,
So,
I dialed really fast, got 4 appointments this morning. So when we're done here, I'm going to get back on. So
awesome, awesome. Love that. Love that. Well, so you came in, you were selling now, knowing Grace and Shane, I'm sure that their building mentality kind of rubbed off on you a little bit, but came in, you were producing, you were paying your bills and everything, when and kind of why did you kind of make the decision
to
to
build.
start building? You said you actually had your first recruit before you was licensed, so kind of walk us through, that process.
Yeah, so my first recruit is my daughter, and she's still with
I was
Symmetry with
thinking
us.
that was the
Yep,
case. I couldn't
yep.
recall.
Her name is Alicia, and she at the time I found Symmetry, and I had already been to my PCB, and so I had definitely jumped all feet in with Symmetry. I wasn't doing that toe touch at all, and she was just getting out of the Army at the time and looking for her next position, and she just has a mind for finance and loves helping people. So I just started sharing what I did, and so she has been connected with me for that whole time. And I will tell you that had I not hired her and had we both not had a focus on building, we would not have hit our promotions like we did. Because there were definitely times that, in my first 90 days, my sales were doing this. My first week, I did $4,800 worth of sales. The next week, I did 294, and so it was definitely doing this while I was trying to find my way and find my path through that. And had I not had other team members that were also building and writing their first policies and everything, I would have missed those promotions. Some of them were definitely nail biters, as I was getting there, but that was, to be able to have a team in those first 90 days, there was two things that happened. One is it not only helped me to hit the financial goals of being able to do that, but it also there was no, on those times I was like, man, maybe this isn't for me. Man, maybe I can't get this figured out. Man, I just don't know about this. I had a team that was counting on me. And I did not have the luxury to sit down and say, and sit down and stick my thumb in my mouth with my blankie. I didn't have that luxury. I got to show up. I had to find my way through those difficult challenges. And looking back, those challenges are what inspired my team to continue going as well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great point, because you're in a fishbowl, right? And you've got people looking at you, and that it's always, I mean, that's why I love about having um, dial teams on, even on virtually, because it's, to me, I'm like, I got to step up, when you got people listening and watching and everything else. But, you know, you brought your daughter in before you're even licensed. So help me understand that, because, I hear all the time, we all do, I need to figure this out first before I go and share it with other people I know. So you obviously didn't do that. So kind of, help us
Yeah.
understand what brought you to that.
I brought her in with the hope that it would both work for us, because I had the belief that it could, that it helped for other people. I just didn't know if I could. I didn't know if she could. And I will tell you, her first week in the field, when she came back, I think she wrote close to 4,000. I remember just being in tears, just going, oh, it worked, because I was so worried that I had put her into something that was going to be, terrible for her, and I mean, I had skin of the game. This is my oldest daughter, and so, and by the way, she was 8 months pregnant when I hired her. So her first 2 months in the field, she was waddling around. She even did some door knocking in her slippers because she had pregnancy brain and forgot to change her shoes. So that was a little fun story about her. But I know for me, I just had to, during that first probably 60 days, I had to borrow the belief from Grace that building is the way. Building makes it easier. Building is, when I first came here, I was like in producer mindset. I went to my PCB, and I realized that what I wanted was, I want the 110. I want the picture. I want that golden ring at the end, and that this way was the way through it. So there was a whole lot of crossing my fingers and hope. And I'll tell you, I've had a lot of agents come in and they didn't do well. I've had agents come in, they gave it all they got, and they just ended up going away. And I've had agents that came in and said, blame the system and things like that, and they went away. And every time that happens, it's difficult because I see so much of the bigger picture. But I have to remember that no matter how long they stay, whether they become a running buddy and stay with me, that short time period that I have with them, I can impact their lives. If I can make them believe in themselves just a little bit more, if they end up leaving Symmetry, maybe their life is different because of their interaction with me. Maybe their life is different because of something they heard on a conference call. So I feel extreme urgency when I bring on a new dialer to make an impact quick, a new agent to make an impact quickly. For that reason, I don't know how long they'll stay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those things when it comes to, the building, um, it's just sharing the opportunity. We know, most of us on this line know what Symmetry is about, and how good it can be if you truly embrace it. And so I know for a lot of it, it's just sharing the opportunity. You don't know who's going to be, who's going to want it bad enough, who's going to be willing to do, the work. But if you think they can, if it's just sharing an opportunity, and you're doing a great job of that. So, help us, talk to us about kind of your process, a little bit about around building. How do you balance being a producer and being a builder and HC owner, all at the same time? I mean,
Yeah.
how do you go about that?
I will tell you one thing I've learned about balance is it's not balance 100% of the time. Okay. Sorry about that. My internet pops out once in a while. I'll be right back. So I always pretend that I'm frozen, like in the best possible picture. So just go with it.
It was
Okay.
perfect.
Perfect. Hopefully I don't pick my nose on accident or anything. So, shoot, I'm sorry. What was the question? I got lost.
Balance,
Yeah, the balance. Okay. So
producing, building,
yeah,
mentoring.
yeah. So I think sometimes we hear this kumbaya balance and we're like, oh, we're going to find balance and zen the whole time. And sometimes it's not that way. You're going to have to lean into a place where you're out of your comfort zone, and it's not going to feel balanced when you're doing that. Okay. So you just got to set up your schedule and just trust that it's going to happen. Okay. And so sometimes I have that kumbaya feeling and I'm excited that it's there, and other times I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I just keep going. All right. So, but as far as what my schedule looks like, because that's the safety, I find the safety in my schedule. I know if I just keep spinning the wheels, if I just keep running the process and I just keep growing, that I'll get to that golden ring that I'm looking for. Okay. And it's awesome to see all of everything. I love who I'm becoming through this process. So it's not like I'm waiting for that gift at the end. I have so many gifts that I'm imparted with right now from what I'm learning about myself and who I'm becoming as a leader. But my schedule looks like right now we're dialing on Friday, Saturday, and Monday mornings to hit our appointments for the evening. So I spend 9 to noon dialing on those 3 days. I run my appointments from 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I do 5 appointments that night. And then if I have a new dialer who's just setting their own, I make sure that I have on my schedule 1 hour where I work with them on their quotes and kind of help them breathe again before they show up to their first appointments and things like that. So I have some team time during that time, and I work on quotes during the afternoon. Depending on how much team activity I need on those dial days, I may do some dialing to set up appointments for recruiting as well. But typically those 3 days are producer focused for me. And then Tuesday is a full day of recruiting for me. I actually have a recruiter now that will call on my zip ads to set up my entire day for recruiting. So on Tuesday, I usually show up to a full plate of scheduled appointments that I then take for recruiting. If somebody doesn't show up for one of those scheduled appointments, I lean in and dial and fill them. So I have a very strong focus on recruiting. I also know I've got some team members that run the field on Tuesday, so I'm available for them, you know, as needed. But, you know, most of the ones that are doing that, they're a little bit more seasoned. And then Wednesday, I just work on pending business and following up with things, do some team check-in up until the conference call. And then my husband works nights, and so I take Wednesday afternoon off to be with him. So that's the time that I recharge and I get to find myself. So I'm out of my comfort zone all week, and then Wednesday I got to find it again. So it's kind of nice. I love my Wednesdays for that reason. And then Thursday is another strong recruiting day for me, and I just dial back into, I just lean back into it. So I just have it split. And I'm actually looking at trying to get a little bit more recruiting time in for me. My team is building, but not as fast as I'd like it to. So just right now, I'm looking at least doing an hour each day where I'm just calling and setting up appointments for recruiting appointments.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that schedule. So you're dialing your sales days is Friday, Saturday, and Monday. So you're
That's right.
dialing in the mornings to book up your appointments that evening,
Yep.
or I guess the next day if needed. And then same thing on Saturday, you're dialing Saturday mornings for Saturday evenings and or Mondays. Okay. So I really like that. So are you primarily using, you know, ZipRecruiter, or you got any other type of recruiting services you're using? I mean, how many?
Right now, I only have ZipRecruiter. I've got 25 cities that I run through Zip.
Gotcha.
So, and my daughter and I split. She has 25 cities. I have 25 cities. So we have a 50 city package. We just split them. So if you have somebody that you might want to be running with, that's a good way to have a cheaper package for more cities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, Penny, you've been excellent. I'm so thankful for you to have here. I'm not going to keep you here. Just what is some kind of last minute, you know, kind of for anybody that's out there that's they've been thinking like they know I really want to build. I don't know how. I don't know, you know, when. I mean, what would be kind of some words of wisdom that you could share for some of our new folks that think maybe been waiting to kind of figure it out, or kind of starting to recruit? You know, what would be, you know, some words of wisdom you would share with them?
Right. So there's two things I want to share about that. One is a story that just impacted me really strong in the last couple of weeks. You may or may not know her, but we have an agency owner in the company, Dana Else, who we're kind of on the same path together. We're about the same place. It's kind of like Jeremiah and I. We've kind of been here about the same amount of time. And I think it was probably 2 weeks ago now, her husband got killed in a car accident. And he had just in the last, I think, 6 months left his other position to build Symmetry with her. And when, sorry, this is, when I heard that she had lost her husband first was just the sorrow of losing that companion to go through life just hit me, because just such a sweet family and the vision that they had together that they were moving toward. The other side, as I kept thinking about her, is how grateful I am for Symmetry, because I know if my husband passed away, I would not be in a position that I have been in the past, where I would be financially ruined. definitely I would have the emotional place that I would have to work through, and there would be a huge challenge with that. And my heart and support just goes to her. But knowing that, you know, the name of your call is that producing is for now and building is forever. Dana else gets to continue this journey and get to a place that her 9-year-old daughter never has to worry about what's going to happen financially. Dana else gets to be supported by a family of symmetry that just loves her and cares for her in a way that no corporation ever would. Dana else gets to figure out how to be a leader by herself and be there for her team in a way that's going to make a complete difference. You know, she's been here for a while. They had a lot of insurance on him, as we all do as we're going through our promotions. We'll add a policy here and add a policy there, you know, and at the time, sometimes it might be about hitting that promotion. But in this instance, that experience for her, she saw the other side, the financial side of that. And I'm so grateful for symmetry that she gets to be lifted up in a way that most people would just be lost. So for me, those are stories that impact me. For those that are starting to recruit and are worried, will I say the right things? Will I know what to do? Will I know how to train? Just remember, just as symmetry always is, the system is set up to support you. Your upline has been through it. My favorite joy of my business right now is I'm now in a place that I get to train people that are training people. And what a joy that is. Oh my gosh, to see them develop as a producer and then to see them develop as a leader, and when do I lean in and when do I leave them alone, and the whole emotional stuff that gets built up, you know, is just amazing to just help them navigate through. So just like everything that we do that is new to this, just understand when you first start, it's going to be clumsy, and it's okay. You're going to get off the phone and go, how did I, you know, like they'll just like when you were first brand new on the phones and you get your first objection and you just stammer and stutter and you're just like not sure what to say. You get off the phone and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? The same thing's going to happen in recruiting. And sometimes you're going to shake your head at yourself, and sometimes you're going to go, hey, that really worked, you know? And so just, I think sometimes we hear the word transformation and we think like the butterfly who's such a beautiful butterfly, but there's this really icky cocoon part. Okay, everything turns to mush inside that cocoon, and everything in you gets rebuilt over and over and over. So just know that your mentor who's there helping you with this is your cocoon, and they'll keep it protected while everything turns to mush, you know, and they know that at the end of this, there's that beautiful butterfly that's ready to come out. So just trust the process. Trust that if you're feeling uncomfortable, you're doing the same thing the very best of us have. Right? I'm still every day uncomfortable with what I'm doing. Okay. So every day I'm like, golly, do I have any of this figured out? And then there's sometimes that I see this little light that says, you know what? I think I did good there. And right now, for me, it's that I get off the phone with somebody that I just said, hey, do this with your recruit, do this with the agent. I just had somebody, she's got a brand new person, and she just started building. So maybe last 6 weeks, she's got a brand new person who is kind of that person who knows it all and is not super coachable. And we've been having to figure out ways to kind of work with him, just keep sharing the process. And I just told him, I just told her, I was like, you just have to keep showing up for him and keep sharing the system. He's going to hear it through the conference calls. He's going to hear it from you, or he's going to hear it from me. And when his system fails, we're going to be here to pick up the pieces. And it just happened this week. His system has failed him. And he is now cracked open and vulnerable and ready to listen. And he came back and he said to her, I've been awful to you, and I'm so sorry. And now he's ready to listen. And she called me. She was so grateful for the times where I just kept encouraging her, meet him where he is. meet him where he is, and keep showing him the path to where he needs to go. And she did it over and over and over again. And the reward is not just that her agent is now on a path to finding some success here, but she had some stuff in her past from when she got fired from other leadership position that was able to heal. She was able to remember that who she is inside is a really good person. And what she has to offer is an amazing thing. And now she's fired up and excited to hit that next new agent. So if you're starting to recruit, just start. Know it's going to be messy, and it's okay. We're all here to support you.
That's awesome, Penny. I just love your heart. I love you. You're such a you're such a wonderful person, and something you said that I'll reiterate to folks that are wondering about the recruiting. You can't say the wrong things to the right people. You're going to have to talk to a lot of the wrong people until you find the right people. And it's really, there's so many parallels to what we do on the sales side. Is, we're not trying to, get people interested in insurance. We're not trying to get interested in joining with Symmetry. You just got to find the interested people, and quit trying to turn, rocks into gold and just keep turning over the rocks. But you cannot say the wrong things to the right people. And when you get some right people, you'll know it pretty quickly. So Penny, thank you so much for joining us, and I appreciate your leadership and again, your heart, and we love you, and cannot wait to we can finally get all back together so we can hug and all that good stuff. But,
that's right. That's right.
Before we leave, do want to just put out one last reminder. Next Wednesday, National Company Call, Revolutionize Our Company. It's your company, it's your call. Be on it live, be on it early. Do not schedule anything around it. Get as many people on it as you can, your family, your friends, your recruits, anybody you want to recruit. Share it and get people on it, and do not forget, block out at least 2 hours for it. And looking forward to it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and good luck on the phones. I know I'm gonna be about to hit the phones myself and try to get a few. I'm gonna try to get a few more sales. I'm having some luck this week, and with one stop shop. So I'm gonna keep on rolling with it and see if I can add a couple more to the pot today. So
I got 4 appointments, Jeremiah. Come catch me.
Let's get it, girl. Appreciate you again for joining us, and everyone else on the call. And y'all have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.